Welcome to the most must-listen to show on the internet. Welcome to AEG. I am your host, JB, and we're back. I got Marlon with me this time.
Hey guys, welcome back. Hope everybody's been doing good, and the corona has not affected you in any way, shape, or possible.
I mean, that's kind of like it's affected everybody at least. In
I
some
mean,
way.
like health-wise. I mean,
like actually health-wise affected
Yeah.
you. There you go. And I also have Colt with me this time.
Hey, we're still doing it. Still doing
Yeah.
the Corona, still doing the podcast here and there.
Yeah,
Mostly still doing the Corona.
I was gonna say, I know, Marlon, the whole reason we kind of started, we're like, oh, we should probably do an episode is, Marlon was like, yeah, the ship's kind of sailed, man. It's been a few weeks. I was like, yeah, it's been a few weeks, but
Yeah.
we're trying to do one a month at least. We did like 3 in March, so.
yeah.
I feel like the Corona podcast was like 2 months ago.
It feels like it is, but it's only been like a month. It was like right when this stuff started.
Honestly, if
feels
you
like forever.
no man, honestly, like this has felt like, I don't know if this is for you guys, but this has felt for me, like if I was back, like I just got into a time machine back in 2006, and I'm back in that old summer where I felt like I did nothing to the entire summer, just staying at the house playing video games, because there's nothing to me to do. Like, I am a personal trainer. I do a lot of things that involve the gym. I do a lot of things that involve running, being outside. So the fact that I cannot do any of those stuff for me is like, okay, I guess I'm just have to chill back in the house and just not do anything, I guess.
Yeah, I'm sure that's super strange for you to like. I mean, are you just basically staying home? Like, is that more or less what you're doing?
Yeah, either I stay home, watch TV, play video games, or go out in the in the backyard, and train. That's literally has been me for the past 4 weeks. Besides,
you're training for that fight with Dalton, right?
Well, here's the thing. Dalton could probably beat my ass right now. Before, I thought I maybe have a chance if I was in a good shape, but after the injury that I have on my
Yeah, I was gonna say you have a weak point now. You're like a boss battle at this point.
Yeah, no, he's just gonna hit there, and I'm gonna be going down like a
sack of potatoes.
I wouldn't say like a sack of potatoes, but like the end stages of a Jenga tower.
Oh, okay, where like you just kind of like fall over.
Yeah. That's basically like it. Literally, he just hits me there, and I'm like, "Well, that's it. I'm done."
Oh god, okay, and I'm going down.
Is that better than falling like a sack of potatoes?
I don't know. Like a sack of potatoes would kind of you just like crumple. Like I guess if you fell
you're
like
something, or you're gonna crumble like a tower.
Yeah.
No, I would just go.
Is that the potatoes you would make?
No, it would be like. No, like everything will be like slow motion, like that Rocky movie, like no, just like fall down.
You know that movie Rocky, that low budget indie film.
Yeah, that hot button Rocky movie.
God Lord. Actually, talking about like stupid movies, and I know that this is something to do with video games, but
hey,
I recently went to go watch $1 Million Baby.
Was that the one where that was Hilary Swank, wasn't
it? So I'm not really good with the actress' names. I'll give you that. It's the one with oh my god, the name of the freaking actor.
Robert Duvall?
No, that one that old actor that was always in like Western movies.
Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood, yes. He was a trainer, and I remember when I first saw that movie, how that last scene where she basically broke her neck, and I know spoilers, sorry, haven't seen the movie, came out about 20 years ago. She hits the neck with the bench thing, and to me it was like, oh my god, that is so traumatic. I'm like, Jesus Christ, she broke her neck. I went back and watched that, I could finally see why they made that into a big joke in scary movies.
Right.
Because the sound effects and the way that she did it, it just looks like she just hit her neck, like she just rested her neck against the freaking like stool, and that was it. And I'm like, okay, that doesn't look like she fucking hurt herself. She just looks like she just put her freaking neck there and that's it.
Oh, I'm gonna take a nap right now.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, what the fuck, man? It's like it shows that when you go back, when you watch a movie as a little kid, and what you thought it was a very traumatic event, then you go back and see it as an adult, you're like, oh, okay, wow, I was an idiot for thinking that this was actually fucking real.
Right. No, I feel it. There are movies that I've gone back recently and like watched, and like you remember them looking even a certain way in your head, and then you're like, man, that scene did not play out like what I remembered.
I think
you know what is terrifying is Animal Farm, when the one pig like falls out of the barn and like snaps its neck.
Yes, that's gruesome.
That one's pretty bad.
Yeah, well, a little not fun.
Actually, here's a little funny anecdote for you guys. So I remember when I was a kid, I watched the Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring, and I ended up watching it very late at night, and I remember having nightmares of the writers, and being really vividly scared about it. I was thinking to myself,
You're gonna say of Schmeagol, which would have also been understandable.
No,
That would have been acceptable.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
like no, literally, like Schmeagol for me was like funny as hell.
Pretty intense.
But anyways,
Oh.
yeah, I can make a really dead on Smeagol impression.
Yeah, I'll say you're pretty darn good at that.
So, I always actually I used to make fun of like when like they would bring up like a steak for my birthday, like my precious, my precious, and my mom would be like, "Can you stop that, please?" So. The thing for me was like I was so scared of like the Dark Riders and stuff like that, and I was like, man, this shit is scary for me. I think I went back and saw the trilogy like I want to say back in 2015, 16. I think it was when the first Hobbit movie came out, and I was thinking to myself,
something like that.
I was thinking to myself, wait a minute, that was it? I've been scared of this like guys on hoodies for like 10 plus years. I was like, yo, it shows you how things go, and like I think even what's the word? Oh my god, what is the name of the stupid movie? The one with the golden freaking bridge, man. I can't believe it right now, man. Dorothy, the Wizard of Oz. I remember being scared of that stupid witch.
Yeah.
I remember being so scared of that stupid freaking Wicked Witch of the West, and I'm like, yo, like, it goes to show how your brain tends to make traumatic experiences even more traumatic than they actually are as you go back and see it. But, I mean, it's not like she was any good looking, to be honest, but whatever.
Any Hoosers.
Mm-hmm.
That was a fun tangent.
We'll talk about video games eventually.
We will. We'll get there.
It's a conversational podcast.
It is a conversational podcast. We've said that a lot of times, and it still holds true, even now. But so we've all been playing stuff,
As most video gamers typically do.
Yes. Sorry, I was yeah. Sorry, I was interrupted there for a second.
He was interrupted by the lady Luck of Love.
No, it's actually your kid, but not her kid. But so yeah, so we've all been playing some stuff. Marlon and I have been playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. Finally, yes, we've actually been playing it. It's not a ruse. It's not fake game or anything like that. Just like Kingdom Hearts 3, we never thought it would come out. It actually also came out. But
it's not something like ethereal, like it's off there in the distance. No, it's finally here. And honestly, like, I'm gonna leave my thoughts on Final Fantasy VII for a little while. But yeah,
no, go ahead. No, absolutely. That's kind of why I brought it up. Like, go for it. What? Give your broad stroke takes on this game.
In the one hand, I am very happy that I can play Final Fantasy VII Remake. it's a game that is very dear to my heart, and the fact that I'm able to actually play it on, I wouldn't say next gen graphics, but I want to say like on a very updated graphics, and the fact that I can enjoy rewatching it and well, falling in love with the story all over again for me has been amazing. Having said that, the fact that I can only play in the Midgard portion, it's like somebody grabbed my heart, took it out, and says, "We're just gonna kick a little bit of it out." Okay. I have so many thoughts that I wish that I could have done in that game, and I think I'm at chapter 16, 17, I think. I'm almost close to beating the game, but the fact is that I know that I'm getting so close to the end that I just wish there was more to it. Okay, and I know that the game has hard mode and has other things that you can do, like for the end game stuff. But as for right now, I'm getting those pangs of like, oh man, the journey is almost over, at least for this installment. And I have to wait until the second part comes out, and that for me, I don't know how to feel about that. Let me ask you this, Jeff. What do you thought about the fact that the game came out with 2 discs and you had to put 1 disc first to install the game, and then you have to take it out and put the other disc out so you can actually play the game?
Well, I actually can say that I did not have that issue because I bought it digitally. So I do not know what you're talking about, sir. But it sounds a lot like what Red Dead did, because Red Dead was the same way, where it's like you put the first disc in to get things rolling. It gets to a point where it needs to install the second disc, and then you only ever play on the first disc after that.
For Final Fantasy VII, what they did was the fact that you needed to have a disc to install the game in. You install it. After that was finished installing, then you have to take it out, and then you have to put another disc to that says this is the play disc, not the install disc, and that would allow you to play the game. For me, when I saw that, it reminded me back into 1997, right, when Final Fantasy VII came out, and I thought to myself, okay, what is this? You know, because I completely forgot that they did mention that the game would come out with 2 discs. And I thought to myself, why do I feel like I'm back in 1997? And I even told my girlfriend at the time what was happening. I told her, if you're going to send me back to 1997, at least send me a couple of $1,000 so I can buy Amazon stock.
Right.
So I was like, and she's like, what? Why does Amazon have anything to do with this? I'm like, it's a 1997 joke. Amazon was like pennies there. It's like, oh, you mean so you want to be rich? I'm like, yeah, okay. So yeah. Now, having said that, when it comes to the game, I like the gameplay. I enjoy how fluid the system works. Once you figure out how the material system works, it just feels really, really satisfying being able to adjust it so that you're able to play the game without feeling like you're just popping items left and right. Because at the beginning of the game, that's what it felt like. But after I realized that, I can use synergy combined with this other material. I can use element material with any other elemental materials like fire, wind, lightning, and I can add combos to that. It felt really satisfying. One of the tricks that I'm doing right now, and I don't know if this actually will help you out, is that I decided to use Barret as my tank. So basically what I have done is that I have given him barrier, prayer, giving him, I put, what is the name? Magnify. So I put Magnify and I linked that with barrier to give barriers and defense buffs to every character. Decided to give prayer to him and have that maxed out so that whenever I need healing, I can use that without having using HMMP, right? And just using him as a tank. And Bro, it's been amazing the way how that system works when you're able to tailor it to your needs. If you're gonna be playing Final Fantasy VII, Dan, in the near future, make sure that you level up.
I still have a PlayStation, so
Make sure you level up prayer, because that will save your butt so many times you have no idea, man. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, I've been slowly making my way through it. I will be honest, like I played the first like 2.5 chapters, and I honestly like kind of stepped away from the game. It's not that I didn't like it. I just had my shiny new PC and I wanted to play on that. And I kind of at that point wish that I could play, which I wish I had Final Fantasy on that, just because I probably would have been like, I would have just steamrolled through it and finished it. But not to take anything away from that game, because I honestly I do really like it now that I've kind of turned a corner. Like I sat back down, tried to start playing it more, and like now that I'm deeper into the story and stuff like that, I'm definitely enjoying it more. But there was a period where I was just like, I don't know if I'm gonna play it, which is strange, but
I can understand that. It reminds me of what happened with you with Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yes, 100% the same thing.
Where you were like, I just don't feel this game, man. I don't like it. And like Dalton and Gustavo were like, no, dude, keep going. We understand that this is somewhat repetitive and somewhat slow, like molasses at the beginning. But no, once you hit that little stride, then it's just smooth sailing after that. And I feel like that may happen with you. Now, having said that, we know that not every game is for everybody. That's something that
right.
At this point I just realized that it's just the nature of things. But for people who love Final Fantasy games and want to go back to that like linear style, because remember, we've been having so many fucking open world games. Jesus Christ, am I crazy to be saying this, that I am glad to be playing a linear game once in a while.
I mean, yeah, and it isn't. It's not 100% linear. It is more linear than, like you said, big open world games and stuff like that. But yeah, I agree with what you're like. I get where you're coming from. Like, it is definitely nice to have a little bit more straightforward game right now. I mean, there are chapters where you can kind of roam around and do stuff, but a lot of the chapters are fairly like, all right, get to this point. Like, yes, you can kind of explore for secrets and such, but this is your main, thing to do.
Yeah, which is fine. Like I said, I have no issues with open world games. It's a nice variety to have. I'd rather have the option and not use it than not have the option at all. Like lately, because I've been playing a lot of Assassin's Creed, I've been playing a lot of. I just was playing a lot of Skyrim back on my PlayStation 3. I was playing. What's the other game that I was playing the other day? It wasn't. What is the other? Was it? No, it wasn't Horizon. I haven't touched Horizon in quite a while. It was another open world game that just came out that I was playing it. I think now it's gonna bother me. so
yeah, I'm not sure what you're referring to.
It's
like a recent open world game.
It's not Assassin's Creed.
I don't know. I don't even know what to say.
Oh no, it was Spider-Man. I was playing with my younger brother.
Oh, okay. There you go.
That's the one I was thinking about. Because I was thinking, well, it's something to do with buildings, but I was like, it's not Batman. So yeah, no, it was Spider-Man that I was playing with my younger brother. So yeah, I'm happy for it. But yeah, I understand where you're coming from. The straightforwardness can get grinding for some people. So
I mean, like you said, I'm there are a lot of times where I'm very much in favor of a linear game as opposed to a non-linear one. So, but moving on from playing, talking about Final Fantasy. I know, Danny, you said you've been playing some Warzone, Call of Duty Modern Warfare Warzone.
Yeah, a fair amount. Pretty much every Friday night I play for sure with some friends, party up and whatnot.
Nice.
Usually some triples, which they keep taking away, then giving back, and taking away.
Yeah,
I know about that.
I don't understand it. Like, oh, we have triples. Could we just get quads also? Okay, here's quads. We're gonna take away triples though. But like, I also want trios where if we don't have 4 people, they're like, oh, okay, here, have it for the weekend. And I'm like, no, that's not what I meant. Yeah, we got a W 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I remember. I think you posted it in the Discord.
It's the first time I've ever got a battle royal win in any game, so that was pretty nuts. I've had some good games. We finished second and third a lot. Like, I've had like some 8-10 kill games. So
yeah, I know.
This is probably the best I've ever been at a boom hole in one. Suck it. Playing Tiger Woods as
I would say he's not playing anything while he's recording, folks.
Nah. He's just having a birdie and an A's and stuff like that,
Yeah, so like I've never been good at a battle royal, so now that I'm like kind of decent at it, I get the addiction, and I tried to play regular game modes yesterday, and matchmaking for one was terrible. Like, I got dropped playing by myself against a full clan who were just like dropping VTOLs, and we wound up losing like 200 to 15 or something in domination, something ridiculous. And then the next game we played hardpoint. I didn't have to play the clan again, but I had the most kills on our team, and I was like 23 and 32, and the least kills on the other team was like, he was 16 and 18, and their best guy was like 45 and 10. I'm like, jeez. All right, well, these teams are super balanced. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go back to playing Warzone again.
Right.
So Dan, question, what do you thought about that clan that got like the 100 kill streak on Warzone?
I watched Vicstar and his guys get 95 kills last week, and it was just wildly impressive. They were just like bum rushing nonstop. Like, they basically dropped in one of the biggest hotspots, and then just constantly were engaging. And if like nobody was around, they would just get in a car and go find somebody. And it's like, it's kind of insane. Like, it's
the thing for me though is that when I see those montages and stuff like that, the way that my mind goes, why can't I get dumbasses like that? Why can't I get people that are just so completely unaware that the guy's like right there? No, I get put up with some guys that can see me from like across the freaking mile, and I'm like, wait, how do you even saw me in that? And then I saw a couple of videos that made me realize, okay, now I know how some of these motherfuckers are doing this. But all right, but I'll cover that in a bit later.
Damn PC players, man, they're so good.
Yeah, they're really good. Yeah, they're extremely good.
These guys are good at Call of Duty. I said like Jeff and Dalton, they're so good at Call of Duty.
God, yeah, I'm the worst.
Oh, God.
I'll be honest. I did play some Warzone myself actually, and I did. I think the one game I had 5 or 6 kills, which I was like you were saying. I think is the best I've ever done in like a single game of any type of battle royale, and I've tried pretty much all of them. But
no, for me, I know for a fact that I suck at Call of Duty. I could probably put up 30 kills in Destiny, go into a lobby and just murder people left and right. I get into a lobby with Call of Duty and I get maybe 1 kill and 18 deaths. That game is not for me. Like, I have succumbed myself. I have said to myself, you know what, this game is not for me. That it's just the nature of things, and I just basically resigned myself to that. I tried playing Warzone with a couple of buddies of mine, and you know that feeling when you have somebody that you're playing with and that you know that they're just weighing you down.
Were you that guy?
Let's just say that I felt like I was a 300-pound clamp on their legs, and I wasn't even letting them weigh them. I was literally making them unable to do anything. So I just, and they tell me, no, Marlon, it's okay. You know, things happen. You know, you're only gonna get better if you play more. But I'm like, nah, dude, this is not fun for me. You guys are just, I'm just weighing you guys down. I'm not doing anything. I'm not contributing anything in this mode. I'm just feeding them kills. So I just said, you know what, I'll stop. I gave it a good shot, but no.
I mean, this is absolutely terrible. He has like a 0.29 K to D in Warzone, and he still has like 9 wins just because he plays with people that are decent.
Well, I mean,
so Marlon, it's not that bad. People can carry you through.
Now, the thing for me though is like that's the thing. I don't want to be carried. I want to feel like I contributed something to the team. I want to feel like it's like if you look at the what is it, the world record right now, it's 100 kills in a single Warzone game,
which is basically literally every other person in the game.
Yeah, the guy had like 30,
almost
32. 39, and the other guy, even the one on the bottom, he had like 19 kills. And I'm like, you see, the guy on the bottom, even if he's not as skilled as the other two, he was able to contribute something, you know? For me, it's like Andrew would have like 7 kills, Lee would have like 4 kills, I would have 0 kills, 3 deaths, and I'm like... yeah, this is not for me. Like I tried it. I mean, like I said, the only way you're gonna get better is if you play. But
keep dying.
Yeah, I cannot even survive the freaking 1-on-1, man.
Yeah, I just feel like it's really well balanced. Like, I enjoy Gulag a lot. I think that's a good twist to add into the game.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Buy stations are really good addition. Being able to buy UAVs or be able to buy your players back, I think that's a really cool idea. It kind of keeps people involved.
It's balanced within the console. Let's say if you're playing crossplay between Xbox and PlayStation and some PC players, then it's balanced. But if you start getting some of the other more nefarious people from the PC area, then you start getting into like absolute bullshit. But I'll talk about that later.
Yeah, that's something that you know.
Yeah,
I think I saw that today about the crossplay. People are disabling crossplay because PC players are cheating so bad.
Classic PC players.
Yeah, you know those PC players. They're kind of a bunch of assholes. I know. Oh, hey, so I got a really nice PC.
That's probably the worst freaking...
This is probably the worst segue I think I've ever done.
Oh, God. So, tell us, how are you enjoying being part of the PC Master Race now that you are, Jeff?
I do not consider myself PC Master Race. I don't think that... I never liked that terminology. But...
now you're stuck with it, okay?
But here you are.
Yeah, and yet here I am. But no, I have been very, very much enjoying my PC. I got it's a custom. It's like a custom one. I ordered it off of Walmart of all places, and it was pre-built. I actually had to look up the specs because I don't remember them off the top of my head. But it's got a Ryzen 7 2700 8-core in it. It's got the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2070. It's got, a decent-sized hard drive. I mean, it's for the amount of money I spent on it. It is extremely, well put together. I'm good. I can pretty much play everything on Ultra, or at least high at the very least. And I'm really digging playing it. I've been bouncing around with games because I haven't found anything like that I really, really, have stuck with. Like I played Warzone on PC. I played I played Destiny 2 actually. I downloaded it on Steam because it's free to play. The one thing I did stick with for a while, and actually I 100%ed it, was Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which came to Game Pass for Xbox and PC about a month ago. And I played through it. Man, I liked that game a lot. It was so super good. Gorgeous game. And just super fun to play. I just enjoyed my time with it. I also picked up some other stuff. I picked up Witcher 3 and played some of that. Played the beginning of that again. I actually bought Red Dead 2. Speaking of Red Dead, we were talking about it earlier, but I picked up Red Dead Redemption 2 and have been playing that, which, man, that game is pretty. I've basically just been picking up stuff to try to see how nice the system, like what this thing can really do.
Here's the thing. I know that you were talking about playing different video games to see the specs. Here's a game that I would think that you should play it, Black Mesa. Even though it came out back in like 2012.
I think I own it. Actually,
go back and play it, man, because that game is so damn good, man. And the thing that it came out as a freaking as a free mod for freaking Half-Life, man. Like how things changed. I'll just say that. So let me ask you this then: you were thinking about getting a new keyboard? And
I did. I actually decided on one.
Oh, okay. So what did you decide with?
I went with the Razer Ornata.
Oh, nice. That's a really nice
which
one.
I think is the same one that Dalton has. I believe so.
I think that's the one that he was talking about.
I think that's what he was talking. Yeah, I think that's what he said in the Discord. But yeah, I went with that. And then I've mostly been still playing on controller. I was kind of waiting for that keyboard to come in to really try to do, mouse and keyboard, because I tried and I'm not very good. I tried playing, actually Destiny was the one I tried because it was PvE, and then I tried playing it with Warzone a little bit in PvP, and it did not work out well. But yeah, so I've actually been playing. I hooked my Elite controller, my Elite Series 2 up to it, so I've been actually mostly playing on that. When I don't think I've run into a game yet that I am not able to play on it, with the controller. Most games have some type of controller compatibility, and with Microsoft's tech that they have, it's really nice. But I actually also today picked up, I don't know if you guys saw it, but they showed the Cyberpunk 2077 limited edition Xbox One X that they're doing.
Yeah, it looks freaking badass, and you stole a little bit of my thunder with my news, but yeah, I saw it. It's a really freaking badass console, and they did say that it was going to be the last special edition console for at least this generation, and I feel like they just went out with it.
I think they said there's only going to be like 45,000 of them made. I read somewhere, but along with that, they also are releasing the controller separately, and they're doing a matching charging dock for that controller that matches the system and the controller itself, and then they're doing a limited edition headset to match the controller, and then a hard drive to match the system as well. They're going all out with the Cyberpunk tie-in merchandise. So instead of trying to buy the Xbox, because I knew I was going to eventually want to do that, I bought all the accessories. So I pre-ordered the controller, the charge dock, the hard drive, and the headset.
Hey,
so
not a bad deal if you ask me. Now,
I didn't end up spending that much money. It was a decent amount, but not obscenely amount.
Gotcha. Here's the thing for me. Once you get the keyboard delivered to your house, I would recommend that you go to Steam and you download AimLab. Okay, it is probably the best AimLab. It is probably the best first-person third-person training solution that you can do when it comes to mouse and keyboard. And the amount of challenges, the amount of training that game can give you to improve your aiming and to improve how you play on mouse and keyboard, that's probably the best thing that I can give you as a tip to improve it. The reason why I don't do it is because I don't necessarily play first-person games on my computer because it tends to run really hot and it sounds like a jet engine is about to burn out in flames. Even though my computer is really good when it comes to stuff like that, if I try to play it on high ultra settings, it sounds like it's about to catch flames. So I don't do that. But if you really want to get better at mouse and keyboards, AimLab is probably your best solution for that. So,
well, I am currently downloading it, so I appreciate the advice.
I saw a guy got really good in like 3 months, especially now since we have the whole Corona thing, and there's not much that we can do except just hang around the house. That's a really great thing that you can do.
Right, like I just want to take advantage of the fact that that I am playing on a PC, and that's kind of the uniqueness of playing on a PC. Everybody talks about how mouse and keyboard can be so much better than using a controller. I kind of want to experience that, I guess, for myself. So that's why I figured I would get a decent keyboard along with having the accessories and stuff that I want. So yeah, so that's pretty much like right now I'm just kind of dabbling in Red Dead, just messing around with that, just exploring and enjoying. So
having said that, given the fact that you are going to be moving away from mouse and keyboard, do you think that the Sony's DualSense controller might make you want to come back?
Well, and that's the thing. I've been like, I know myself better than like I know how I am. Like I say that I think I'm just gonna stick with my PC. That's why I bought it. Blah blah blah. I know as soon as that PS5 gets announced and I start seeing the exclusives and the games that I know I'm going to want to play, I'm gonna be like, yeah, I just kind of want that. So, what you're referring to is that Sony officially unveiled their new controller, the DualSense, and I don't know about you guys. What do you guys think? Like it looks a lot different than what I was expecting it to look like. It looks more of like a kind of hybrid between a PlayStation and Xbox controller. It looks fatter in that regard.
I like it. I mean, it looks very ergo. It looks like it'll fit in your hands nicely.
Yes.
For me,
that's like the main thing I like on the Xbox better is I feel like it's more form fit than a PlayStation controller.
Right.
Here's the thing. I am gonna, because I want to say, I'm thinking about now. It's probably about being 6 months since I bought my C40.
Yeah.
I want to see how that feels compared to the C40. Now.
Right.
Because after playing with my C40 and just getting the hang of it, just enjoying how the ergonomics feel on that piece of kit, trying to go back and play with the PlayStation DualShock 4. Let me tell you,
that's different for you.
It sounds like it just feels weird. Okay, I never thought that I would say this, given the fact that I played with All Reliable for like 4+ years, but I went back and it just feels, I don't want to say it feels like your hands are cramping when you're playing with it, but it just feels, it doesn't feel right. It's like if you're playing with the Xbox 360 or the Xbox Elite controller, and then you go back and play with the PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 4. The way that you hold it changes, and it just feels weird. Because your hand, the way that for me, when I hold a controller, my hands naturally shift to thumbstick on the top, thumbstick on the bottom, and then being able to hold it that way. Because that's the way that I enjoy back in the Xbox 360 era. That's how I usually enjoy playing with that controller, because that's the way that I enjoy the more. And the way that I set up my C40 was on that type of
the offset sticks is basically
right.
Stick. So when I play with this C40, it just feels good. it just my hand naturally curves to that type of position, right?
Right.
So going back and playing with the analog sticks just being center, it just feels weird. Doesn't feel wrong. It just feels weird, and I probably would get used to it after I play a couple of months with it. But now that I'm playing with the Z40, I don't see myself going back. Having said that, the DualSense again, it looks pretty. I don't know how I feel about the white and black tonality that it has. I kind of wish it would have been just all black.
See, I like that. I mean, as I've said multiple times on this show, like I like white like systems. I think they always look cleaner, obviously, but
Agreed. I had the white PS4 and
right.
the white controller, so I'm like used to it. So I kind of like how it looks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely don't mind it at all.
We know that they're gonna come out with new special edition colorways.
Oh, of course.
So, like, I saw some of the designs that people did, and let me tell you, man, that Kingdom Hearts one looks so damn clean, man.
Some of the mock-ups that they did are pretty darn awesome.
So for me, it was like, oh man, I wish I had that. But yeah, overall, even though I'm not too, gaga over the color scheme that they decided to go with. Which means, do you think that's going to be the colorway that they're going to have for the PS5?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a white, black, like some type of offset, like not all one, like not all solid one color, not because I mean clearly the controller is both black and white, so yeah.
Xbox One, kind of.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah.
It's the white with the kind of a black base almost. Or...
Yeah, I would say probably the white will be the main color scheme, and then the black will be the undertones and stuff like that.
And I'm guessing that the blue LED light's going to be the one go around the middle of the console, just between both the black and the white. I feel that that's probably going to be it.
Yeah,
I mean...
I'll offend some PlayStation purists here. I think they needed to change the controller. I get like the old reliable, and it's been the same forever, and we like it because of that. And I hate change. I'm Dalton.
God, you're calling him out like that, bro. Fucking hey.
Love you, Dalton.
We all love you.
But
Dalton.
if you were here, he would say it.
Yeah, I mean
But it's been the same for that long. That doesn't mean that it's the best way to make a controller. It just means they've done it the same way over and over again.
Right.
I mean, everything can be improved over time.
It doesn't need to be like, yeah, you can't get complacent. Like, I didn't think they would come out with a new Elite controller, but I mean, and even the Elite Controller Series 2 stuff, like it's not a lot of big changes, but I mean, it's quality of life stuff, and I'm hopeful that the DualSense, like when we actually get our hands on it, we'll be able to be like, okay, I can see why they made these changes. I can see what they did here. It feels better. It doesn't feel better.
A lot of people go out and spend over $100 on a freaking SCUF controller just so they can have a more ergonomic, like Xboxy kind of feeling PlayStation controller.
Right.
Here's the thing: when the DualSense got announced, and I saw the colorway that it had, the black and white. You know what it immediately reminded me of? The PSVR. That same color scheme of white, black, and blue. That's literally the first thing that came to my mind. And as I realized this, I'm like, and I've seen a couple of VRs like the Oculus Quest, the Oculus, the new ones that came out. Do you think that Sony will leave the PSVR as a gimmick, or do you think they're gonna be moving to the next generation with it? I mean, I kind of hope that they do.
I think because it has the same color scheme as the DualSense controller, I think they're gonna stick with it. I mean, if you think about it, it does have very similar color scheme, the white and black. So I could easily see them sticking with it. I mean, and they've done so much with it that I don't think they could just throw it away by the wayside. I think they'll move forward with the VR. as a major component of the PlayStation, family,
Like,
let's
at
say.
least do something with it.
I feel like they need to like redesign it because it,
Oh,
I
I'm
like
I'm fully expecting a redesign. Like,
because the way that I saw the Oculus Quest the other day, and I realized that it was so sleek because they had no cables. It was just literally something that you could put on, and it would work just as well with cable or without cable. And I saw it like it really looked like Oculus was bringing their A game as redesigning the VR experience. And then I'm looking at the PSVR, and I'm like, it worked for when it first came out, but if you look at it now, it's just that backside just sticks out so bad.
oh yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, man, I feel like Sony has some.
They've piqued my interest. That's for darn sure.
So, having said that,
So what other kind of news stuff do you have in Marlon's News Minute?
You fucked it up, man. You fucked
Nope.
it. It was Marlon's Minutemen news, man. You fucked that up. So,
Like, are you like the Minutemen from Fallout? Or are you going to tell me that another settlement needs my help every 2 seconds? Is that how that works?
Yes, a new gaming console needs Jeff's assistance
There
to
you
be able
go.
to rise up to the stock market. Yeah, whatever. Here's the thing. So, given the fact that we are talking about Sony and the PlayStation 5, specifically, Sony has announced that for the holiday season, for the first year of the PS5 production line, they will have shortages of units come either November or December, whenever they decide to launch this new console. So the fact that Sony has gone on record to say, hey, listen, there's going to be shortages of this console, so make sure that you do your preparations and pre-order your stuff as soon as possible, because they may not be available, given the fact that we've been dealing with the coronavirus and how China's and the Asian market has been basically put on hold for how manufacturing and just how the plants are. Sony has basically said, hey, listen, just make sure to do the best you can. If not, well, I'm sorry, it's not much you can do about it. Having said that, we know that what happens when there's shortages of consoles, what do people do? They fucking price gouge, and they start putting them like up the fucking yin yang when it comes to just the pricing. So don't be shocked if you see a PlayStation 5 winding up on eBay for like $1,000 or $1,200. It's just the nature of things. When the demand for something is really high, and the supply is really low, prices, just go up the fucking roof. So,
just look at the Switch right now.
Yeah, that's what I was going for.
This very second.
Yeah, speaking of shortages when it comes to the Nintendo, Switch owners, or at least potential owners, will have realized that there is a big shortage of a Nintendo Switch, both the Lite and the regular console right now, because of the coronavirus again. So what do people have done? They're being bitches. That's what they've been doing. What happened was that Motherboard, this company that is owned by Vice, came out on record and said that people were using auto-buying bots to basically buy any fresh stock of Nintendo Switches, and then immediately put them on the secondhand market for $200, $300, even $400 more than what they originally were going for in Nintendo's websites. That's a dick move.
Some of the people were using BirdBot legitimately to get their own.
Yeah, and some of them are just
the only way to get them right now. But yeah, a lot of people are price gouging them.
And I don't. Here's the thing for me when it comes to price gouging. On the one hand, it's capitalism. Okay, you have the ability of being able to put up a object, console, item, whatever have you, for whatever amount of money you feel that you deserve for that item. Having said that, if you're the idiot that's paying these prices and then complaining about it, I have no freaking sympathy for you, because you know that the price of the Nintendo Switch is between $299 to $399, and if you pay $400, $500, $600, even $800 for it because little Jimmy wants it for that holiday season or at least for the summer, I'm sorry, you can wait. Again, I don't like price gouging, but it's just the nature of the system right now. You know, if you're doing like Dan said, using auto buying butts to be able to get that Switch for yourself, that's fine. You know, you are using the tools available for you to be able to acquire what you desire. But again, if you're
this isn't even a new console. This is like a 3-year-old console.
I know. That's the thing, man. Like, that's the thing. Like, if you don't have a Switch by now, you've been resting on your laurels. I am not,
Like, Animal Crossing is part of the issue. A lot of people are hopping on board for that. But at the same time, it's 3 years into the life cycle of the Switch.
Like, I don't understand how can somebody go up there and says, this guy is price gouging, he's selling a Switch for $800. Like, he's selling it. That doesn't mean somebody's out there buying it from him. Okay? If there's an idiot out there that's buying a Switch, a 3-year-old console for $700 to be able to play Animal Crossing, I'm sorry. I have no sympathy for that idiot, because that's his money. He wants to pay that amount. That's his prerogative. That's something that he can do, but that is not something that I feel sympathy for. I will feel sympathy if you couldn't buy anything anywhere, and Nintendo was then saying, "Oh, we're gonna sell it for $400, $500, $600." Okay, that I will feel bad, because then that's the manufacturer having low stock of the system, and then because they have low stock on that system, they're raising the price just because of it. Then I can say, okay, there's a problem here. But in the secondhand market, anything goes.
But is that worse? I mean, if Nintendo themselves is doing it, then it's just supply and demand. If other people are doing it to make the shortages,
then it's just... I think it's the nature of the beast at this point. It's not just with Nintendo. You see it with anything. Like, for example, for me, I'm seeing this on the secondhand market when it comes to gym equipment. Everybody's been raising the prices insane. Like, if you go to Amazon, a regular 72-inch barbell would cost you, I want to say, like $112 for the cheap version. If you were to go for the Rogue, Titan Fitness, or anything of that higher end, it will cost you between $299 to $300. Those same bars right now in the secondhand market, they're going for $400, $500, $600, even $700, because you cannot find equipment, because the demand for it's so high and the supply is so low that the price will go up. Inevitably, that is just the nature of it. But nobody's out there putting a gun to your head telling you, hey, listen, you have to spend this amount of money on this console. If you're willing to spend that, that's your issue, man. So, again, I have no sympathy for guys that spend all that money on consoles for just playing one game. I mean, you had 3 years. It's not like it just came out. It's not like the PS5 that hasn't come out and it's going to have like a huge demand, because it's going to have like 4.4 million people trying to buy the stuff. That's the way. But moving along for shortages, if you manage to get yourself a Switch, then I can tell you that 2K is bringing BioShock, Borderlands, and XCOM 2 to Switch on May. And there's a couple of rumors going around that they might have a new remaster Mario games coming in for the Mario's 35th anniversary.
Yeah, there was a tweet I saw today. There's a tweet I saw today that kind of like gave credence to to what we heard about recently, which, like you were saying, that there's possibility that we're gonna get Super Mario 3D World, Super Mario Sunshine. Help me out here. Galaxy, Galaxy. And then possibly a new Paper Mario game. But I saw Best Buy had it was like not publicly listed, but on like their internal listing had a listing for Super Mario 3D World for the Switch. So,
yeah, there was like a rumor of them doing it almost like a Super Mario All Stars, the old game.
I would prefer that.
They made like a collection, which would be sweet. But I think it's more likely that it just winds up being separate games.
At $60 a pop because Nintendo.
Yeah,
Nintendo love. I'll give credence to. I'll give not credence. I'll give credit to Nintendo. They know how their stuff is valued. They know that their stuff is, even if it's Mario, the original Super Mario's for the Super Nintendo. Oh no, even for Super Nintendo, for the Nintendo Entertainment System, they know that is worth between $5 to $10, and they will never go down below that because they know that people will buy it, and because they know that people will buy it, they just are very adamant about not lowering their prices because they feel that they are worth that much. Credit to them. Again, that's just company's policy, and do I condone it? No, I don't condone it. I feel like Nintendo should be doing some specials and should be doing some special sales on their games because I feel like they should be played, but not to the amount that they want. Okay, a 35-year-old game is not worth $10 in this market. I am sorry, that is just not. We're talking about look at this. We're talking about, let's say, Super Mario 64. We're talking about Super Mario World. We're talking about games that have been regurgitated by Nintendo in every console that they are able to put their hands on, and yet people still keep buying them. And for me, it's like, why do you keep doing this to yourself? The reason why Nintendo will never do this, do like Steam sales or like Nintendo sales, stuff like that, is because people keep buying their stuff. So they're not going to change the way they do things. Now
I'm the problem.
You keep buying them. And again,
actually, I've held off on buying Super Mario Maker 2 still. Like, it's one of those things that like I need to just pony up and spend the money on, but I still haven't. Like, I can get it for like $50 at Walmart, and that feels like a steal, but I still haven't actually done it.
Like that's how bad it is, that Super Mario Maker 2 in any other type of console, whether it's Sony, Microsoft, PC, that would be going on right now for like $10.
Oh yeah, I'd say it would easily, safely be $20 on sale all the time.
Uh-huh. And yet Nintendo's like, nope,
regular.
$40, $44. And then the thing about Nintendo is, like, when, let's say that they do have a sale, okay? So like, we're selling you, we're selling you Super Mario Maker for $35.99. It is on sale right now. Usually, you normally get it for $40. And what do people go? Oh my God, it's on sale. Let me go pony up those $35. I'm like, yo, you're. Like, that's not a sale, okay? Taking $5 from a freaking video game is not a sale, okay?
I was gonna say, I will say the one thing I have noticed with PC is, man, I can get some stuff for some dirt cheap prices.
Oh yeah.
And speaking of PC and dirt cheap prices, how do you feel about the fact that now that you are in the PC ecosystem, Jeff? The fact that with $100, not even with $100, with $59.99, the amount of money that you would pay for a regular game on either Microsoft or Sony or Nintendo, that you can get up to 200 games with that.
I mean, if you're really searching the deals and stuff like that, I mean, yeah, you could easily. I mean, and a lot of times they just give like little indie titles and stuff away for free.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I'm
Have
gonna
know.
get the whole
you
bundle.
have you seen any of the? Oh, you haven't been on Steam sales like when it comes to
No,
like
I
the.
haven't had any of the big,
Uh,
like, really, like,
Steam
ridiculous
Summer
Steam
Sale.
sale.
no,
Yeah,
no,
nothing
no,
like
no.
that yet.
There's a reason why there's a meme of Gav just literally sucking up your money. Cause man, the sales on Steam, and I have seen this, and it's like insane. We're talking about titles that like would cost 40, 50, 60 bucks, going for like $4, $5, to the point where I remember I was trying to buy some games for my girlfriend, and she was asking me like, "Hey, listen, can you wait until there's a Steam sale going around so you can buy this?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." I bought her three Dragon Ball Z games that would have cost me $69.99 for like $15,
Right.
and I just texted her like, "Really? Like this is how you guys are getting all this stuff here for free?" I'm like, "Jesus Christ, man!" It's like I'm looking at the list and I'm like, "Yo, I could probably get up to like 35 games with just the amount of money that I would pay on one game." I'm like, "Damn!" Now I understand why PC gamers don't spend money on games. They spend money on freaking hardware. Here's the thing: having seen the PC market just the way it is, like, and how people just enjoy playing video games, stuff like that. There's not all sunshine and flowers when it comes to PC gaming.
No.
The fact that drivers can get messed up sometimes. The fact that bugs will be in the system and it will be very difficult to get it to ironed out, and just overall things that just sometimes
I'm definitely worried about that.
Because it happened to me. I was trying to play Gears 5 with when I had it, and I just couldn't get the chat system to work. And it took me a long while, and I had to go through forums, and I had to go through all this stuff to realize, hey, listen, the reason why it's not working is because your drivers, when it comes to the communication and the audio, are not synced correctly between systems, so you have to do this and this. And I managed to figure that out, but it took away from the experience of playing with my games as opposed to like I did, the consoles. But
Right.
having said that, I think the one thing that has annoyed me about PC gaming as a whole, it's just the rampant use of hacking and cheating that it happens.
That's why I just stick to my single player stuff.
And you were talking about this earlier when Dan and you, Jeff, were mentioning about how the people were not were opting out of not playing crossplay because of that. People just said, we're done. We just can't play, consoles, Xbox, PlayStation against PC players. I mean, we already know that the keyboard and mouse already give them a pretty hefty advantage over us. Okay, they don't have to add cheating and hacks to that to make it even more egregious.
Right.
And I just saw a tweet like last week where Infinity War was saying that they banned 70,000 people. Like they found hacking on Warzone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what does this mean for developers going around that when they're trying to implement crossplay into multiplayer games? Because, and don't even get me started on the whole China blocking a lot of gamers from the Chinese communities and blocking them from playing outside games, because that's like, for me it's like, hallelujah, no more fucking bots and selling fucking goals and stuff like that. But here's the thing for me. Do you think the developers will have more stringent rules when it comes to crossplay, or do you feel that may have a direct problem with them? Because what I don't want to see is developers going, well, if nobody is opting out of, if a lot of people are opting out of crossplay, that means we don't have to implement it, so we don't have to even worry about that stuff anymore. That's my fear. And I don't know if I'm blowing this out of proportion, or if you guys think
No, I don't think it'll discourage developers from doing crossplay. I think all games should honestly have it. I love the idea of it. But
yeah, it took forever to finally get here, and now we're gonna try to ruin it.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
know.
I mean, I can understand the concern, but I don't think it's going to be that big. I don't think it's going to be as big of a deal as certain people are making it out to be. Um,
Hopefully, it's still the future of gaming
right.
because it needs to be.
Agreed. Absolutely. I love the fact that, right now I could be playing on my new PC Warzone with Danny on his Xbox, and, you know, if you were playing Marlon, like, you'd be playing on your PS4. Like, that's just insane to even think that that's a thing. Just keep it moving forward, and I think we'll all, I think it benefit everybody.
Yeah,
But
like I'm always of like the whole like one bad apple ruins it for everybody else.
right.
Um, so that was my main concern, man. Like again, I don't want it to go away. I love crossplay, like the ability, like you said, Jeff, to be able to have multiple different consoles and everybody be able to connect with one another, regardless of what type of console you have. That type of connectivity and being able to create a bigger community overall, I think that's the future of gaming. Um, do I feel that the that when a couple of bad apples in a certain community do actively try to screw it up for everybody else, I don't like that. I feel that it not only has it happened on Warzone, I have seen it happen on Destiny 2. I've seen it
Yeah.
happening with Trials of Osiris. It's
Yeah,
finally back, and I seen some really legit like disgusting stuff. Like I saw the other day a video of a guy that I think they were basically nine. I want to say nine. No, they were going on a long streak, and they were like trying to make it to the lighthouse. And they get into the match, and they just see like this guardian flying on the air, and he's just basically shooting rockets everywhere. And I just saw that, and I thought, yeah, that's kind of why I don't like PC, and I don't like crossplay and that type of stuff. I saw that, I'm like, oof, that must have been rough. And they would be like immune, they would have like infinite health, they would never die. So for me, when you see that type of stuff, it just discourages, at least how inclusive the community can be. But then you can see
Right.
that it can be like also directly opposite, where you have some assholes that just make it and ruin it for everybody else. So that was just a couple of news that I had. I was gonna talk about the new console for Cyberpunk 2077, but somebody took my thunder from that. So
Sorry. I was really excited.
I mean, think about it. There's a lot more news going around, like the fact that new pictures of WoW came about. There's a couple of more news about how Warner Brothers and DC Comics are basically saying, because of the whole coronavirus thing, we're going to put a stop on the Batman, and we're just going to have to wait until, I want to say, 21, 22.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it was, I think it was 2021.
October 21.
Yeah, October. Thank you, Danny.
Yep.
But,
Yeah. Or people spam reviewing Animal Crossing right now, trying to give it negative reviews on Metacritic because you can't have two islands on one console.
which
Hey,
somebody said that you can, though. I thought you could.
People were bitching that you can only do one island per card, not per console.
Gotcha.
Or
Per
one per console, not per card or something. I'm weirding it words.
You're weirding it wordly?
Yeah, exactly.
I think the fact that
people are like, "Oh, I wanted to play with my wife, but now we're supposed to have two Switches just so we could play together." Like, blah 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 blah.
I mean, think about it. I don't know what the developers were thinking when it comes to Animal Crossing, but to me, Animal Crossing has always felt that it is a single player experience with certain multiplayer aspects included with it. It has never felt for me that it was one of those games that were meant for playing multiple people in the same console, because I don't know. For me, it just doesn't feel like it lends itself to that.
I just think people are mad that you can't just have multiple save games as opposed to, I think that's the big thing that people are most like the most upset about with the situation.
That I can see. But because it's just, hey, listen, I want to have my own save file, or my wife, or my girlfriend, or my significant other to have their own save file, but we're still able to, not ruin each other's files while playing it. That I can see. But the core experience of Animal Crossing for me has always been like that little individualistic perspective of you being able to create your own island, create your own village, create your own experience, and have it catered to your needs, as opposed to being something like Mario Party, where like 4 people play at once and shenanigans happen.
Right.
But
I get what you're saying there. Yeah. But I mean, so Danny, I know you kind of wanted to put it on the docket, but what kind of stuff did you want to discuss with Nintendo? I know we've covered some of it.
We basically covered all of it. I mean, the only other news that's potentially coming out is maybe once E3 got canceled, there was pretty much Nintendo was going to try to have their big direct around the same time as E3 would have been, but with the Corona.
The Rona, as the kids say.
Yeah. That might get pushed back just because stuff like developers not being able to get into offices or Nintendo employees not getting into offices.
Right.
So it could get pushed back a little bit, and we might not get to hear about Breath of the Wild 2 or the new Mario projects or Metroid as soon as we were hoping.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that. I guess it's not that big to me personally. It's not a huge deal. Like, I understand like extenuating circumstances right now with everything going on. So it's like it's hard to argue against it.
I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but I have some breaking news as of right now. There have been multiple reports of Nintendo accounts getting hijacked. Even one of the staffers from Ars Technica got their account hijacked, and let's just tell that if you are playing with your Nintendo console, to go change your password as soon as possible and enable 2-step verification system, because they are going for those credit cards. So let just be known that this is happening right now. So if you are listening to this in the future,
bastards,
make sure you change your password and just make sure you are keeping a very, very steely and very
close eye on it.
Yeah, because that's happening, and the fact that Nintendo already plans to produce 22 million more Switch devices to address the short supply, that just means that, again, don't buy it from second-hand markets. Wait until you to buy the console, buy the freaking manufacturers, and don't pay $700 for a console that is not worth that amount. Okay, same thing with the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. Don't be buying expensive consoles, especially now with the whole coronavirus thing and the fact that wallets are tight. Just remain vigilant about like, again, you cannot control what people put their consoles prices for, but you can control what you do with your money and not spend it frivolously with something like that. So again, I'm just giving you that. Enable your 2-step verification system for the Nintendo consoles. Make sure that you don't get hacked and you lose more money in your credit card than you need to. So that's just from my end.
Yeah, I feel it.
Yeah.
Do you guys have anything else before we rock on out of here?
Breaking news. It's not actually breaking news. It was like a week ago, and I just wanted to save it for the proper moment. I found, after like a year and a half of searching, my childhood Super Nintendo and all my games.
You found that old...
around here somewhere. It is It's got the typical Super Nintendo, like the top of it is turning like a greenish, brownish color.
Yeah, I see it now.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, I see it now. Very cool.
Over there somewhere with a shoebox full of games.
I can see
That's
it.
awesome, dude.
So you know how to fix it, right?
Actually, no.
Okay.
I haven't gone that far yet.
All right. So if you want to fix it, you're gonna basically do a couple of things. Number one, basically take all the screws out, take all the components out. You want to get hydro. Oh my god. It's not hydrochloric acid. It's hydro. No, it's it's not OxyClean. It's
hydrogen peroxide.
Hydrogen peroxide. You want to get the highest percentage of hydrogen peroxide you can find. The higher percentage, the better. 3% ain't gonna do it. So you want to get it between 6 to 12. If you can get 50%, 95%, even better. Put that with a solution of a detergent, whether it's OxyClean, whether it's some type of detergent on powder. You want to get xanthan gum. After you have that, you want to slather the entire thing with that and then put it outside in the sun for a couple of hours. That will mitigate some of that discoloration, and it's gonna not gonna bring it 100% back to the original color, but it's gonna look a heck of a lot better than that.
Yeah. Brown, greenish,
brown,
brownish.
like it's been on a sewage for like the past couple of decades, right?
I don't know what 20-year oxidation makes it turn that color, but it is not flattering.
All right. So basically, what happened was that when Nintendo made the SNES and the Super Nintendo, they put a chemical so that it was fire resistance. So what happened is that chemical, when reacted with UV light, it turned it into that disgusting color. If you touch it, you will see that it's actually kind of slimy, and somewhat oily at times. That's because of that fire chemical that they use. So
I'll give them credit. It never caught on fire.
There you go.
Apparently, they did something right.
Did something right.
Yeah, a lot of plastic from the 80s had that. If you find if you find an old Game Boy,
Action figures and stuff too. Yeah, like that.
So, I mean, it was a different time back there. A lot more fucking styrofoam was put into that type of stuff. Have you noticed that there's no more styrofoam being used to package stuff when it comes to consoles, specifically Nintendo stuff? Because they realized that, this is bad for the environment. We really should stop doing this.
It just never goes away.
Yeah, it takes I think the half-life for styrofoam is 800, 900 years, something like that.
Something like that.
This has been Marlon's Tech Tips.
Right. Yeah, all sorts of tips tonight, Marlon.
I watch a lot of fucking shit, man. Like I haven't done. Clearly.
But well, I guess we can put a pin in it until next time. I do have one quick announcement. I know right before everything started happening with the coronavirus, we started trying to do the grind, bring the grind season 2 back, and it will return. But with everything going on, it's been very difficult for me to do that and have a schedule and keep things on tab. So we will be doing it. I'm not exactly sure when, but we will be bringing it back at some point, most likely over the summertime once things start to get back to normal.
Yeah. So. You have a PC now, so you can
do
the damn thing.
I know I can stream nice and easily. So we will be we'll definitely be doing something. Regardless.
Most dope.
So anybody else have anything before we head on out of here?
Follow me on social media.
Yeah, for all the interesting tips.
Follow AEG on social media.
You can tell we haven't done this in a while.
Scoutmaxscripts.com and use promo code AEG for some sort of percentage off of your purchase.
I think it's 10%.
I think it's 10% as well.
But yes, thank you guys as always for the support you give us, And we look forward to seeing you here next time on the AEG show.